It's the 8th of the 4th, 2020, and this is my upload for today. As I'm continuously sharing about the human rights violations that I'm experiencing, I think the topic I'm going to discuss today is basically with regards to um, positive contributions that I have voluntarily and without um, payments have contributed to society. I've worked in a voluntary capacity in many ways in this community and in other communities also. As a humanitarian, to be experiencing these human rights violations due to identity theft and hate crime, I find it quite disturbing what is actually being perpetrated. I think in any position of employment, whether paid or unpaid, to be taken advantage of and to be exploited is a very sad sign of the times. Authorities, as are fully aware of my plight since giving birth and getting married to a property owner, still have not acknowledged the injustice and violations that I've been experiencing. The assistance, as I've sought and mentioned in these uploads, has still been prevented. So this is an ongoing issue, and it looks as if the guilty culprits that have perpetrated spiritual violence, financial theft, defamation, inviolability of dwellings, all of these issues that they have caused for me are being safeguarded in society. Politicians have been informed of the offences and wrongdoings that I've experienced. As I've mentioned, there's been a constant shift in the details and the facts of this situation, and the fact and fiction of this situation is easily established. But as a victim being violated and isolated intentionally, the facts of this matter have been ignored. And as a consequence, not only have my voluntary contributions to society been disrespected and taken advantage of, basically, and positive contributions to society, I might add as well, but also the very more serious issue of spiritual violence of a collective group of people that have damaged my sacred gifts, light, and blessings as a royal angelic light worker. The people involved in this vendetta and that are also guilty of identity theft and property theft and trespassing have obstructed me from living even in my marital home. Um, the authorities and politicians are aware of these circumstances, and as regards the issues of people intentionally perpetrating deprivation, denigration, and displacement and defamation being facilitated, doesn't say much for how secure and safe future women will be in society. So, as I keep saying, it's a sad sign of the times. And if we were to check with the Oracle of Atlantis, I'd say they would be quite disgusted with the outcomes of my hard work and my good contributions to other people's recovery and attainment also. So the hypocrisy of this situation is scandalous. The abuse of power is absolutely shameful. The intentional impoverishment um, instigated by those culprits targeting me, obstructing me from attaining my rights, my legal rights, and from satisfying my hierarchy of needs, must be absolutely delighted with those throwing good money after a bad vendetta of hate crime. So those people that have disrespected my credentials, my experience, um, my recovery since 2006, that there have been no others, only myself responsible for, um, you know, have shown a very serious lack of regard for women's rights and children's rights. So the UN agencies that are fully aware of my plight and that have understood exactly the power players abusing power and the bad, ill-gotten gains by individuals as a consequence of this vendetta of human rights violations against me, um, surely might understand this picture a bit better when it comes to the spiritual violence that has been occurring. So basically, what the point of this issue is that the idea of people imposing and intruding and instigating the concepts of denigration and displacement as a convenient measure of avoiding their wrongdoings and offences um, is a very intolerable tactic in modern day society, especially when it comes to civic society. So, those people that have perpetrated identity theft, spiritual theft, and financial theft against me in the past 2 years, and that have obstructed my protection order as a whistleblower, and that are perpetrating further retaliatory offences against me. I hope the authorities and politicians are aware of all my positive contributions to society that have been undermined, undervalued, and underestimated. So, spiritual violence is very serious, but human rights violations in 2020 is absolutely disgraceful and a very sad sign of the times. So, authorities, I hope all victims are prioritised in your agendas for safeguarding civic society.